please.
Thanks. I watched this video that came up on my feed today. It was an interview with Malcolm X, and the reporter asked him. He's just like, "So, do you think we're making some progress?" And he goes, "Progress." And he goes, "Stick a knife 9 inches in my back, and then pull it out 6 inches isn't progress. Progress. Pulling it out completely isn't progress. What's progress is when you pull it out and you allow the wound to heal, and we still have the knife in the back, denying that it's there." And I thought that was interesting because that's kind of how I feel. That's exact. I am so surprised that nothing has changed in however many years, because that's exactly how I'd still explain it. I think we have a system, right? That's no longer de jure, but it's de facto of what so many years of propping up one community while pushing another community down. And then we want to think like we're against like something like reparations. I understand the language is frustrating. Some people will say, "Oh, well, you caused it." As a Black American, and so you caused this. You should that could be frustrating for white people, right? Because I didn't cause it, and then they get this sort of fatigue, like this. You know what? I'm not even going to deal with this. You think that I caused it? I didn't do. I'm just living my own life. I'm not going to fucking help you, right? And that's what I see that happens a lot when I try to talk to reparations about to people. But I wanna just give an invitation out. Reparations. You don't have to have. You don't have to. There's no. You don't have to take responsibility for the harm that you didn't cause. That's not fuck that, right? You didn't cause it, no problem. But where you are responsible is where what's happening right now. Where is the knife right now? We have a cyclical system that is we have like this. It's impossible. We were just talking about like just housing. We could talk about how housing discrimination and redlining moves into how the schools are not going to be. We're going to have underfunded schools. We're going to have 30 seconds, man. We're going to have the school to prison pipeline. That's going to lead to more over policing. That's going to lead to more unjust sentencing, right? Shit with the criminal justice system. 50 to 80% of Black Americans being taken off juries, right? How are you supposed to 20% more harsher sentencing than white Americans with the same exact background? Then of course, if you have unjust sentencing, worse background, you're going to have less economic opportunity. You're going to have less money to do things. You're going to have worse health disparities. There's going to and more economic disenfranchisement. And then it's just going to continue to cycle and cycle and cycle. So my final plea is, if you're a white American, I'm not talking about Black Americans, because no offense, and this is just mathematical, you don't have any say in the system that is the white America. Okay, you don't matter. You're not making the decisions. Mathematically. I'm gonna.
Yeah, let her out. I got you. Shout out to the girl flying to you.
She just keeps on lying, dog.
She landing there.
Right. I'm trying. Black Americans, you don't have any say voting. Mathematically speaking, plurality rules the way that voting happens. It doesn't happen. It's completely on the majority, the dominant power in society, and that's white Americans. If you're a white person and you vote, you have a moral responsibility to fix this and to repair it, because you're walking in it and you're benefiting from it today. It doesn't have to do with your ancestors. So fucking just pass it and stop being emotionally neutral.
All right, cool story. Yeah, so. It's ironic to me that, like, this young lady is talking about Malcolm X. Here's the truth of the matter. It will never be enough. People will never be satisfied. If they said tomorrow, okay, $1 trillion, it still wouldn't be enough. I mean, it's like...
What do you base that on?
Bro, because right now...
Are you saying, like, psychologically Black Americans are... It's impossible that they're going to be able to function
Hey, guys, we've got a one mic policy here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you.
Thanks, man, appreciate it. Yeah, Bima, I really appreciate your input into the conversation. It's actually really interesting, but Anthony was trying to just respond. Anthony, sir.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, so as I was saying, listen, it will never be enough. There's a certain segment of people who will never be happy. They will always blame other people for their circumstances. They will always be dissatisfied with their lives. When you have someone like a Whoopi Goldberg who is going to sit down there and talk about how she's oppressed, how oppressed she is. When you have people that's going to say that Shador Sanders was the victim of a modern day lynching and compare his circumstances, multimillionaire, to Emmett Till, this is what they're going to compare Shador to. You have people that are permanently brain dead. It's sad. There's nothing you can do to help them. You just have to accept that this is their plight and move on. I don't expect.
Let him finish. Let him finish, JW.
I gotta ask him a question.
JW, I got you. As soon as he finishes, ask him the question. Go ahead, Anthony. Go.
Thank you, man. He's lucky I'm driving, bro. It really is. So listen,
JW, come on, man. Come on, man. We trying to have a good discussion, man. Come on, man, brother. Come on, Anthony, go.
yeah, thank you, man. So ultimately, there's just some people that are going to be casualties of war. That's the reality of it. They're just stuck, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do to help them. They're not even going to be a part of the conversation. They're perpetual losers. This is their starting point. I'm gonna land right.
JW, you got a question? Hold on 1 second. JW, you got a question?
Do you think that
This is a completely unhinged person who has disdain for foundational Black Americans. A lot of people who are non-FBA, they grew up in households who were very xenophobic towards us, that already looked at us as inferior. And so when they grow up, they get on platforms and they spew their hatred for my particular ethnic group, and they think because they have U-melanin, high concentrations in U-melanin, that somehow gives them the right to attack my community, my ethnic group, or because they were teased as children. A lot of Caribbeans and Africans were teased by Black Americans and others. They grew up with this resentment towards us. So anytime they get an opportunity to attack my ethnic group, they will do so, and they do it again under the guise of, hey, I have high concentrations of U-melanin, so I can do that.
I just wanted to respond to Anthony real quick. I appreciate your response, but it's a non sequitur. It's a straw man. You didn't address what I'm actually saying. You're saying, oh yeah, there's always gonna be people that are gonna be, it's never gonna be enough. Those people, it doesn't matter whether they're there, because it doesn't logically invalidate the moral obligation to repair what is the measurable harm that is in the system that we live in. Okay, so it doesn't matter. They're going to exist, and also in the last bit, they're human beings. They're going to die off, and it's up to us, right, the new generation, to provide opportunity and to repair that real measurable harm today. Remember, and I just said that, and it's intergenerational, right?
Can I offer something? Yeah, thanks. I'm just listening with an open mind. I don't see that either of you are wrong. I don't see that either of you are actually right. I'm sure there's actually some middle ground that regardless of who you are, this conversation, this dialogue could actually find a middle ground and say, you know what, you're right, Anthony, or you know what, you're right, Beamer. Try and find where that middle ground might be, and we might be able to get it like a progressive conversation going here. What are your thoughts?
But Anthony's unhinged because he doesn't even qualify for reparations.
Yes. So Bima, as it stands right now, right? I fundamentally am opposed to reparations. I don't see like any kind of middle ground where you and I are going to meet and have a better understanding. All right. And for the record, I've been married to a so-called FBA woman for 20 years. Our household will benefit if there weren't any reparations to be given. All right. Now, this idea that, people need to be paid for past harm, that, they need to be paid for slavery and they were never slaves, and they need to be paid by people who never owned slaves, it's offensive. It's offensive. What people need to do is to move on. I know multiple people that never graduated high school, and they're seven figures. I know one person's actually 8 figures deep, never graduated high school, and he's black. How is the system so stacked against him? That story is not supposed to be possible. The way you guys describe America is as though it's some kind of caste system. Your destiny is predetermined. You are stuck.
Hang on,
This is
Anthony, I want to ask you, can you steel man her position?
I'm not sure what you mean. I would think that me stealing a man in her position would be like lending support to it. That's what my perception of steel manning.
Okay, so my
Kill every single German after World War II? No, that never happened. So why is it okay to even insinuate that's okay for any group of people to assassinate and murder?
So they lost huge amounts of money, and so the whole system unraveled because everybody was trading these instruments with this bad debt. So massive amount of bad debt that was hidden in these instruments that were A-rated. That's what happened there, and it wasn't accountants that were involved. It was literally bankers that put all this together, and that's what happened. I mean, there was a movie that came out years ago. It was a good movie, and how one of the guys from one of the banks, no, not one of the banks. It was a smaller financial institution, like or trading, commodities trading, or or investment group. They were in the same building as one of the big banks. One guy came in and thought he was in the wrong office, and he mentioned something, and then realized he was in the wrong office, and then he left. And one of the guys, and this was like a 6 or 8 man operation, and the guy that came in was going to like Lehman Brothers, or I don't know, one of the major banks that was in the building. But anyways, he left, and it sparked the interest of one of the guys that was there, and he started doing some digging, and then he actually went down to like Florida and realized like these strippers, literally strippers, were owning 5 or 6 homes each. And then he unraveled the whole thing, and then it started creeping out. And then like Lehman Brothers, I think Lehman Brothers was in the movie, where the president or the CEO, they didn't know about any of this stuff. They had no idea. And then they started investigating it, and they found that the investments that they held, most of their investments that they held that were worth billions of dollars, were worthless. So what they tried to do, and they did, is they started selling off all their investments the next day, and selling them off at a discount. And then people started realizing, why the hell are they doing that? And then people started looking into it, and then the whole thing crashed down. And no joke, no lie, I knew a guy. He, he's average, working class. He retired. He went to Vegas because Vegas got hit really hard. He bought, I don't know, like 6 or 8 houses for $40,000 or $50,000 a piece, and these were $1 million homes. Mm-hmm. And he was living in one of these homes. He retired down there. The rest he rented out. He literally has, and he told me, I have horse stalls for horses, and I have maids' quarters, and I can't afford neither. But he says, I love my house. But literally, the guy, he worked, he owned a cafeteria, and, he didn't make much money. I mean, I made $100,000 a year, $80,000, $100,000 a year.
Yeah, a lot of people lost money, but a lot of people made money as well. Well, he didn't make any money. He retired in
What I
2008.
meant by they kind of bought things on the market that were kind of really below market value. Like,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example, the houses that were $1 million homes for 40, 50,000.
Yes.
That is a bargain.
Yeah, it was. He did it not because he wasn't planning on doing it. He just saw, wow, these houses are cheap, you know, and there were
The banks were trying to offload them, weren't they?
These $1 million homes were hit the hardest because they're the ones that, you know, these people, middle class, who wanted, and it's always the middle class or upper middle class that want to live wealthy.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that mostly bought these exorbitant, homes that they could not afford, because that's the nature of the middle class and upper middle class, at least here in the U.S. And that's one of my problems when I was in accounting, and that's why most people are liars, because a lot of them, 9 out of 10 of them, their lives are fake. Like, I was shocked to find out.
Yeah, it's keeping up with the Jonases.
I was shocked. I was like, wait, you know, I'm in a much better financial position than any of my clients. But they have these nice houses. They have these expensive cars. You know, they take vacations all the
Very
time.
similar to England. A lot of people kind of, they live a lifestyle they can't afford because a lot of it's on finance.
Here too. It's insane.
This happened with, hi guys, and this is what you're talking about. So when COVID hit, so I know some people from a friend, whatever, she's in the hospital, whatever, she's up there, director of the hospital, so she knows a lot of surgeons. These surgeons, of course, they make a shitload of money, okay, so of course, every home, everything they have, they can afford. But once COVID hit, surgeries, they couldn't do surgeries, and they were getting paid accordingly. So now the bankroll wasn't coming in. The stress that they were in was enormous. One person, when they told me their whole situation, I looked at her, I'm like, are you crazy? She's a dermatologist, husband's,
Wait, why the stress? You missed something there.
the stress she went through, because let me tell you what it was. They had, like, you know, pretty, not just a regular home, this was a pretty large home. They had kids at private school. They, you know, had a very expensive lifestyle that they could afford as long as money kept coming in. They had vacation homes,
That's called paycheck to paycheck.
properties.
Yeah, that is paycheck.
This mentality can exist in people that do earn a lot of money. It's not
That's what I'm saying. Upper middle class, Ace. They are the biggest. I had to deal with them, and they are in such denial over. You know, I'm telling them, look, you can't do this. This is how you're going to look like in 6 years. And I would do the projections. You will be in this position in 6 years. You will not be able to pay for, your summer home. You're not going to be able to pay for your kids' college. You're just not. You have to change, and they would not want to. They can't, because their neighbors, have a nice house. I mean, these people, I could tell you when I was younger, I was around 16, 15 years old, when the recession hit in the U.S. in the early 90s. People were moving out of their homes in the middle, the upper middle class, in their nice $500,000 homes, which was expensive back then, in the middle of the night, without telling their neighbors, friends, family, anything. Moving out in the middle of the night because they were so embarrassed, and moving out of state.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, these people are...
So much for the American dream.
No, the American dream was the middle class. The American dream was my parents. When they came to the country in the late 70s, my father was an engineer, and within a couple of years, we owned our own home. We, had 2 acres on the river, and within 10 years,
I don't think the American dream is specific to a class of people. It's because everyone can have an American dream, which looks very different to each one another. Because like you can have a homeless person that has an American dream to have a normal house, 4-bedroom, whatever, and then you can have a middle class person that has an American dream, which is a multi-million-pound mansion. It's still the American dream.
Yeah, but
It
the
should be
American,
better.
guys, hold on. The American dream is what it is what, I mean, I agree with you, General, but what it is you can attain things where in other countries it seems unattainable. Not that you're able to earn more income, it's the fact that the amount of leverage and amount of money that gets loaned to you. You
Yeah.
can lease this, lease that. People, I
Yeah,
found
yeah,
out, I'm so
finance.
shocked that people finance furniture, did lease furniture. I'm like, what the? Yeah, lease
What?
furniture. I mean,
But-
yeah.
But
Who
that's
leases furniture?
that's not really the American dream that how I would describe it.
You know, that's the way you, in your description of how you feel. But
No. Okay, let me put it this. That's not the definition I would use for an American dream. What you're saying is more like the American trap. When I say American dream, I mean someone who is that is working class, that works, blue collar jobs, that is able to afford to pay for a home and raise their children without struggling.
yeah, but American dream is American dream. The American dream is you go to school, you get an education, you go into debt. Then the next thing is you buy a home.
But that's the American trap. But the American dream, the American dream is what I grew up with. My parents.
Your perception.
No, that's not. No, that's not a perception. The American dream died when the middle class got squeezed down to where there's barely a middle class anymore. When there was like a working / middle class. The working class was considered the middle class, where you can work at a factory or at a blue collar job and still make enough money to pay your bills.
Of course.
That's all it was.
Well, university education usually meant that you're going to get a high-paying job, and that would up the.
Yeah, then now you're in the realm of upper middle class. Now you're in the realm of making it. But the American dream was to be able to afford, just by working a normal job. And this is true. You should be able to have money in just a normal job. You should be able to afford a house, and you should be able to afford to buy a normal house.
Yes, but people still pursue it, but they just do it with over leverage.
But houses now. So
Financing.
up until 2000 or so, houses, like my cousins and my family, we all bought homes between $80,000 and $110,000, which is a 4-bedroom house.
Years ago.
Now it's the same house. Their houses, everybody's houses, is over $500,000. That's the same exact
parking
house.
spot for 110 these days.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, the American dream is gone.
Yeah, but hold on, Edward.
Now it's the American trap.
House in 20 years is not going to be worth even more. Because that usually happens. That means.
What? Say it again?
The real estate appreciates, right? I'm not surprised that $110,000 home is not happening.
No, but
The issue is the income disparity that there will become more.
You're right, exactly. So Ace, right, real estate appreciates, right? So is your income is supposed to your income is supposed to keep up with that appreciation. Now here, and I don't know, where you've been in America, but like for example in Connecticut, here. An average 4-bedroom house, in the suburbs, maybe a quarter of an acre of land, a 4-bedroom house that's 60 or 70 years old is going to run you $400,000 to $600,000.
That's still very.
And the reason is because all the BlackRock and all these companies are literally buying up all these homes.
Let me tell you. So right, Toronto to New York, suburbs. Let's say Toronto area, right outside of the city. A 4-bedroom, half an acre, you're looking at over $1 billion in the suburbs. 1.5, 1.6 million. That's what it is in Toronto. New York is even more expensive.
Well, New York is expensive, but everybody from New York flooded into Connecticut over during COVID too,
Yeah,
and
but what I'm saying
that
is
raised the prices.
$460,000 for somebody for the same thing in Canada, let's say, the West Coast, East Coast, or even California versus New York. They're gonna say that's the same.
Well, okay, but in New York, you're getting paid double.
It's not expensive, it's ridiculous.
But in New York, you're getting paid double. Now, it is expensive still in New York, but you're getting paid double. I know this because here in Connecticut, Fairfield County, where I grew up, everybody worked in New York. They got paid twice as much and came back to Connecticut to buy their homes.
Yeah,
That's where they live.
that works for them. But if they're living in New York City, getting paid double doesn't do anything because of how expensive everything is.
Yeah, same thing. It's not proportional. The same thing here in Connecticut. It's not proportional. It's not proportional anywhere. You can't be a factory worker, and this is where I say the system has failed. If you can't be a factory worker, I use the word factory worker to mean all blue collar jobs, right? And be able to buy a house, then the economic system that we're using is not working.
White collar can't even do that now. Let's just keep that.
I know. Right, exactly. It's insane.
See, they all have terrible accountants like you.
No, I was good.
Okay, so if you got the right.
I dealt with truckers, by the way, General, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
They were decent
There's
truckers, but
money in the trucking business, lots of.
owner operators, yeah.
Within the last 6 months, I was just generally looking for property in the US, in particular Texas. I mean, Texas has some cheap property, like it's of a good standard. Like it's basically a mansion, and you can get it for less than $500,000.
Yeah.
Where though? Like, are you in the middle of nowhere, or in Texas?
No, they were like new communities, they're new builds.
Yeah, Texas is cheaper.
Well,
Texas is cheaper.
Guys, real estate's on sale across the board. People right now, it's a buyer's market. It's a buyer. Oh yes.
Not in the U.S. What do you mean?
Yeah, it is. Look at it.
No, it can't be. I would have heard about this.
It is. I know this for a fact. It's a buyer's market. It's not a seller's market. Look at how long properties stay on. Like, it takes forever to sell a property. And you're not even getting.
Where are you looking? Where are you looking? Here in Connecticut, the people are getting into bidding wars on houses, no matter where you go.
I'm talking about major metropolis. Look at Cali. People are. Do you know how many people have had to undersell their mansions? Way undersell their fucking houses. Huge. Look at the Florida condos in Florida.
Well, I wish Connecticut would come down, because I want to.
Look at New York. Look at New Jersey. Oh, look at Canada as well. Like, I know this for a fact.
Well, New Jersey doesn't count. No, New Jersey is a shithole, so that doesn't count. New York, I can understand why it's expensive. It's always been expensive in New York.
Right now, for real estate, it's actually a good time if people got the funds to purchase. It's not a good time.
I wish I could, things would go down here where I am. It's just not, even in the surrounding towns I'm looking at, and it's like, you might find 5 or 10 houses on the market.
Supply issue, isn't it?
A major supply issue. Major and the crazy thing is, why don't you fucking build new houses then?
Because
Why don't build a house then?
do you not understand the permit issue there? That's the biggest problem with construction business and builders. The amount of loopholes, how many loopholes, whatever, jump so many hoops and shit you have to go through to get so many permits approved from whichever county, city, whatever, is bizarre. And all the other issue is, like COVID and whatnot, yes, if the rates are low, then it's spiked up, then it's the cost of clearing that load, borrowing, and then some builders pre-sell, some don't.
That's the problem, and that's why they don't. So, General, you asked what building.
And welcome to Luna, welcome.
If you're gonna have a builder build 500 or 1,000 homes, they are taking on a huge risk. If they could only sell 80% of them, they might go bust. So they, because the markets are so volatile, a lot of them don't want to take on that risk.
Have sex with mom at 10 or something.
They'd rather go in and invest their money. You know what's really hot right now? Mobile home parks.
Oh, yeah.
And investment companies are buying them up like crazy.
Why are they hot?
Because people.
Because people can't afford housing, so it's
Yeah.
the second best thing.
Yeah, and that's true. People can, and you get a mobile home and you park it there, and you pay a few $100s a month, and
And they're better, sometimes they can be better than flats, because flats are obviously able.
Edward, it's pretty expensive in Los Angeles, these mobile homes, right?
yeah, Los Angeles.
You gotta buy the mobile home for $100 grand or $150 grand, right? Or $80 grand for 3-bedroom, plus the freaking rent.
Reparations.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because legally, right? That is, I think, which one of the biggest rejectors, or however, the defiers of reparations. It's going to set a legal precedence if we say that we can put this amount of money on this amount of harm, and that's going to bring. Okay, well, fine. Don't put an amount of money in it. Let's just time scale. Let's just let Black Americans be completely. They have no need to pay into any type of taxation. No taxes, federal taxes, and fuck it. No, Black Americans do not. If they got pushed out that amount, I think that's measurable and that's simple. That's simple. That you could. I think that's. You know what I mean? What do you think about that, Sol? Right? We could quantify that because that's something that's quantifiable and it's measurable. Boom.
I think a great recent historical example would be the Colbell versus Salazar case that was settled in 2012.
Do you want to elaborate? I'm not familiar with that.
Go on.
It was a federal case with the about 500,000 Native American recipients for land mismanagement, for land lease payments, another mineral extraction, and I believe the total case ended up being something like $3.4 billion in reparations, which for 500,000 people was between $1,000 to $2,000 for land mismanagement from 1887 to the present.
Kevin, did you want to add anything to that?
Oh no, I'm just really listening.
Yeah, okay. Dominic and Jack Griffith, welcome to the stage. What's going on?
I'm against reparations.
So am I.
Me too.
All right. Let's get it on.
Yeah, to the person in the chat that said, hey, what about the Jews and the Japanese that got their reparations? Well, the Jews got their reparations from Germany, and that's Germany's business, how they settled that. The Japanese got reparations from the U.S., but it was the actual internees that got the reparations. And so in 1988, that was paid out at $20,000 per internee. So, if you could show me somebody that was a slave and show me somebody that was a slave owner, I think you'd have a really good case for reparations there. But since I wasn't a slave owner and you're not a slave, stay out of my pub.
Hey, I'm curious, Mojo, was that for false imprisonment? The American Japanese? Do you remember?
I would I would say that it was for the fact that they were citizens and they were detained and not allowed due process.
Yeah, okay. That's what I sort of recall.
So Roger, you're only in support of the support of theft in your pockets when you're okay with it.
Well, that's an interesting thing to say. It's totally took out of context what I said, but I don't know if that's a listening skill problem or if
Probably.
you just
Well, this is my point.
Yeah.
You said stay out of my pockets. So my point is, right?
Yeah, stay out of my
obviously
pockets.
Right. Reparations would be done through what, likely?
Well, first of all, if there's
Taxation is the answer. Taxation. So taxation,
Well,
right?
hold
Do you
on.
support taxation? That was my point.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Have you taken your medication tonight? Because I am happy to have a conversation with a medicated B-Master, but an unmedicated one, I'm not ready.
Our taxes go to bullshit anyways.
That's a low blow, Roger. Do you want to respond though, or you just want to deflect?
I don't even know what you said. You were busy speaking while I was speaking.
So you said, stay out of my pockets. I'm against reparations. The idea is likely reparations are
Can
gonna.
you please just let him finish? Go ahead,
You-
Roger.
You would literally let him have finish.
Beeman, go ahead. And pockets, we're not talking about you.
I was gonna say, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, okay. Mojo doesn't want to get inside pockets, as far as we're aware at this point. Beeman, yeah, okay. Beeman.
Wait, hold on to the person in the chat that said this conversation is taking a bad turn. Why is it taking a bad turn if there's people that are pro and anti-reparations? Why is that a bad turn?
Because you're being rude when you're talking to people and calling people names. And that's.
Who did I call a name?
conversation.
Who did I call a name?
Roger, you fucking retard.
Who did I call a name?
I'm not gonna go into back and forth with you. You just turn the vibe of this conversation totally to a different way, and I'm just commenting on that.
Okay, so Lauren.
I'm saying you did, okay? That's it.
Who did I call a name?
It was an inference about me taking my meds, I think.
Did I call you something outside of your name?
What difference does it make if it's a name or the other words that you said that were insulting? I don't speak to people without their medication. Come on, man.
Well,
You don't need to be told that that's bullshit.
Got it. So you think it's okay for her to interrupt me, and for me to say that I'm willing to have a conversation if she can have some fucking self-control? You think that I'm the problematic one in that situation?
I don't need to defend that woman. She can speak for herself. So, you know, this is a back and forth. This is a bad back and forth platform. People sometimes interrupt, but they don't.
Oh, you're correct. I have no idea what this platform is all about. Please school me on what this platform is all about, Lauren. You must be the OG.
He's being gentleman, Lauren. It's okay. I appreciate it. I was being. I might have got a little excited, but thank you. I appreciate you, Lauren.
I want to hear what she got to say. I think she was going somewhere.
I'm down with it too. I think she was also going somewhere. But I want to point out, I'm also against reparations. So instead of coming off of the mic and yelling at other people, you could just bring that energy here, and I'll tell you why I'm against reparations.
So I always wondered, when it comes to reparations, like when it comes to the justification of it, like why people do it is because of their ancestors that suffered. I always wondered that because when my mom passed away, I sued the fuck out of the doctor's office because they neglected a lot of things that came to her health. And of course, there was a settlement. They paid me for it. Of course, I got money. So wouldn't that be like the same thing? Your family suffered for some shit, so you're trying to get some compensation for it. I always thought that was, interesting that people will sue because their kid died somewhere, somehow, but getting reparations because their ancestors went through shit is different, so.
So how So how far back can we go on this reparations thing? Can descendants of the Moors kindly give me some money for what they did to my people in Portugal?
I mean, like, I think
If you got a case, Roger, you better get that money, bro.
yeah, like, I mean, are there a bunch of those ancestors that are complaining with evidence that there's a lot of negative things that are happening in society, and they're disproportionately being affected, and they're asking for help? I mean, like, I think that would be, but obviously that's another deflection.
Not deflection at all. My people had blonde hair and blue eye until the Moors came through Portugal. And so, I mean, I think I have a legitimate grievance. The reason I don't complain about it, though, is because there's nothing that I can do about it. And there's nobody still living today that was part of that shenanigans that I would be able to file a suit against. This idea that we're supposed to file a grievance after the fact is fucking weird.
Yo,
I
you
hope
motherfuckers are just so foul that y'all don't want to see black people with nothing.
Hold on. Why somebody would speak over me is fucking crazy.
This is in Portugal.
Oh, okay, so you're anti-Portuguese. Great. What a big... It's funny how you guys don't want to hear other opinions. It's hilarious. I'll just go back on mute and I'll let you guys talk over each other. Fine.
Let's be real. Every single ethnicity on this earth has either been enslaved or has owned slaves. If black Americans are to get reparations for slavery, what about the white people who died in the Civil War to end slavery? Shouldn't they also get reparations? And furthermore, where is this money coming from? It's coming from taxes. Who pays taxes? Me. So I have to pay you for work that you've never done? That's ridiculous. This whole idea of
Dominic, hold on 1 second. I agree with you, but I want to take it to the extreme. I want to understand why we don't get a lawyer to represent the alligators and the crocodiles and say that the exploitation of dead dinosaurs in the form of oil, that there should be reparations paid to alligators and crocodiles. I think it's unjust.
That's right.
Another deflection.
Yeah, all of it is protection. When it comes to black people, you make mockery, but white people right now you are benefiting from free labor all the way back. But you don't have a problem.
I don't want to pay white people reparations.
But you still getting. But why?
I don't want to pay white people reparations.
So should Jews still be getting money?
I don't want to pay white people reparations.
But I just asked you a question. Should we still be sending money to Israel?
I'm against foreign aid. Hold on. No, Dominique, hold on. He asked me a question. I'm against foreign aid. So go.
So we shouldn't be giving them zero, right?
I don't want to give any country, any corporation.
No. I asked you a specific question.
I'm going to be very specific. I don't want to give any company, any corporation, or any individual money. I don't think that I don't care what their grievance is, unless it's something. If they're alive and the offender is alive, then take it into a court of law, fight your fight, and get your money. But if you're
know how America was established. So you know.
Yeah, I do know.
You know how America was established. It was established by terrorists, and the terrorism that black people experience from white folks. You're benefiting from that free labor, and not only Jim Crow stuff, redlining, and even to this very day, we're still talking about race and equity because you all had a head start based on free labor. Black people should get money to repair the damage that was done, and it just continues to follow us. We've been behind the damn 8 ball forever. I do fault us on this part. Black people should have been separated from white folks. We should have been created our own nation.
That's
No, that ain't enough because that's our self-reliance. No, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. No, let me finish my point. No, black people should have been separated from white people to do for self. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was right, Malcolm was right, Muhammad Ali was right, and Minister Farrakhan is right.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, we need to be self-reliant to do for self, not to be against anybody, but to spend time fixing, repairing what's wrong with us. Yeah, we got issues in our community. Yeah, we got problems like anybody else. But it does take a help, a little help for us to do what we need to do for self. And then if we don't do that by then and for an extended amount of time, then you could say, hey, we've done enough for them. But we do need our own territory. We do need our own schools. We need our own banks. We need everything everybody else have. And then you'll see a whole different reality for black people. We did not benefit from integration. Not at all.
All right, that was all bullshit. I want 30 seconds. First of all of this, we need to leave the white man and other, that's bullshit. You understand that all black Americans are mixed. You're all mixed. You got white people in your skin, inside of your blood. And yes, black people have benefited from slavery. This nation has the most black millionaires, the most black billionaires, and the highest standard of living of any black person on the planet Earth is in the United States of America. We live in better than Africans. So all of this, we need to do for self, man, get the fuck out of here. You understand? Y'all have been saying that bullshit for 100 years. Nobody's preventing you from doing for self. Go do for self. I will land there.
And guess what? What you just said was absolutely insane. See, when you have a slave mentality, I don't know who you are. And what do you...
Hold on, Greg, stop right there. Hold on, and I'm not trying to disrespect you. But Dominique, you didn't hear Greg come off the mic hooting and hollering and screaming at you. Allow him to make his point. He gave you the respect of being able to say what you needed to say from start to finish. Didn't come off his mic once. So allow the man to speak. That's it. You don't have to agree with him. Just allow him to speak. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Greg.
All I can tell you is that it is a formula that has worked in real time. Everyone that has promoted to do for self, even those who were in prison and made some bad decisions, when they joined the nation, got cleaned up, changed their whole trajectory, their whole mindset about family, community, and self. So you can't tell me that that doesn't work, being a nation within a nation. If you tell me that by just looking at a few millionaires, that right there shows progress for black people. Have you looked at the poverty rate? Have you really looked at the conditions in certain communities like third world communities? Have you really went around America just to see in the metropolitan areas how it is a big gap between the black-white wealth gap? Do you really know what that is? It's 50 cents. It's actually 15 cents on the dollar. Sir, there's plenty of studies.
15 cents on the dollar.
There's plenty of studies that would show you.
I think based on what you're saying, Ben Drew, too, it's kind of funny. I'm thinking like black people have to knock on the door of a white person in order to get the reparations. So they have to, I think they have to read a book, write an essay, go and knock on a person's front door and say, okay, give me my reparation. We're going to do direct reparations, no government intervention.
Race is a lie. I was in the Nation of Islam back in 1976. Back in 1976, I served Louis Farrakhan personally. All of what you're saying is bullshit. It's all bullshit. None of it is ever going to happen. There is no such thing as the black race, the white race. It comes down to personal accountability and personal responsibility. If you're not going to stand up, man up, raise your hand up, and do something for yourself, then there is no group solution. Ain't no group coming to save you. There's no such thing as the racial wealth gap. There's the wealth gap between people who have money and people who do not. There is no group solution. You, sir, need to stop spreading that bullshit. I will land there.
Okay, let me respond. First of all, in 1976, you did not serve Minister Farrakhan.
I served Louis Farrakhan.
Let me tell you why. Hold on, let me finish, sir. Let me.
Okay, hey, pause for a second. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, Dominic, let me finish. I promise you, you'll get the right to be able to respond ASAP. Okay, and to Big Gregory, please don't make attacks about people who you might not even know. Maybe ask questions instead of making assertions. But go.
Okay, let me ask a question. Thank you. In 1976, where was Minister Farrakhan at?
He was in Chicago.
Where about in Chicago?
He was in Chicago. I don't know where about. He was in Chicago.
Okay, he was on the west side of Chicago in 1975. The nation, you know what happened, right?
I know my experience with the nation.
I said in 1975, you do know what happened with the nation, right?
I know my experience.
Okay, I'll tell you because you didn't say it. Okay, in 1975, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed. In 1975, and then his son took over. But I'm not gonna get into that whole history there because when you said that, but let me finish. But let me finish because I'm not going to even do that, and because I'm not going to question you because you said one thing and I knew once I dropped that it would show some contradiction. But let me just say this in terms of self-reliance. But as far as self-reliance,
wait a second. Wait. One mic, guys. Okay, Dominic, I promise you'll get the chance to be able to respond. Speak to the points, not to the person speaking. Gregory.
So let me just point this out to you. When it comes to self-reliance, there's no way under the sun that what I've been able to accomplish is not from begging white people. It's from working. Yet I do realize that group dynamics and group economic power works. All groups of people have decided to do what they need to do. And you can't tell me that the Jewish community don't work together. There's no way. And they're right here in America, here in Chicago, in Skokie, and over by the university. They work together. And guess what? I praise them for that. They look out for each other. They support each other. And they make sure AIPAC and most of them, they stand up for them. They fight for them. And black people should fight for black people. That doesn't mean you anti-white or anti-this or anti-that, but you could be pro-black and do for self and have self-reliance. You can build schools, you can build businesses, you can do mentoring, you can do whatever it is that it's going to take to change the reality of poverty, the reality of just waiting on a mystery God to feed you, to clothe you, to give you shelter. And that's why I said that's like a bank giving you a loan. You got to pay the loan back, but it gives you an opportunity to do what you need to do for that business. There's nothing wrong. That's not a handout. That's to get you an opportunity to do some things that will make a difference financially, economically for your people, for your community, for you personally. So I disagree. if we continue to sit around and wait on a government that's not going to change the way it operates in this capitalistic society, we'll never ever be able to catch up financially and economically. And I know for a fact there is a black-white wealth gap in America. And even anybody that understands economics realizes that there is.
Let's land it,
All
please.
you get. Yeah, you're soapboxing, man. Are you finished, George?
Gregory,
Are you finished?
Dominic, take the mic. Please.
Look, listen here, y'all. Look, I try not to put out a whole lot of personal information about myself, but I am a Jim Jones People's Temple survivor. I was in the Nation of Islam, and I'm telling you, all of this is bullshit. There is no such thing as race. There is no black community. There's only a place where a whole bunch of black people live. There is no such thing as a black person, a white person. Your boots are black. Paper is white. There are rich people and there are poor people. The poor people are not all going to get together and suddenly get rich. It's not going to happen. And what you just heard was the voice of the weak mind. The weak mind will not stand up and do it for himself. He needs a community. So they invent communities, the black community, the white community, the gay community. But the reality is, this is the United States of America. More people with brown skin came over here after slavery than was ever brought here as slaves. Why would they do that? If this was a racist country, why would they do that? White people died in the Civil War to end slavery. White people were slaves too. White people were slaves too. Look, if you want to stand up, man up, raise your hand up, the United States is the land of opportunity. You work hard and make good decisions, and nothing can stop you from being a success. And that person was completely full of shit. Don't even listen to those people. Let them go eat their bean pie. Let them go read the Final Call, the newspaper. Let them get right the fuck out of your face, because you only live once. And you don't have any time for that bullshit. Race is a lie. There's only one race, the human race. I will land there.
have you been to, let me think of some of the areas, Winnetka, Barrington, Highland Park, Skokie. I'ma stop there, even Buffalo Grove. You ever been in those areas?
I've been to Baltimore. I've been to DC.
I said Buffalo. No. I said those areas in Chicago.
I heard what you said. I've been to Baltimore. I've been to Oakland. I've been to Frisco. I've been to Compton, Los Angeles. I've been to Germany, France, Japan.
Okay,
Korea.
sir. Thank you. You answered the question. It's segregated.
Dude, the world
Let me
is
finish.
segregated.
Let me finish. It's segregated.
No, wait a minute. You are finished.
But
Y'all have been
no,
running
sir.
bullshit for
So can I finish my point?
decades.
Look, I did not interrupt you. I asked you. No, okay, go ahead, sir.
Hang on. Thanks, Gregory. Appreciate it. Dominic, I can hear your breath, okay, getting anxious and torn up. Can I just suggest just take a breather for a second? You did have a word to be able to say. Speak Gregory is going to talk. Okay, just write down what you don't agree with. Speak Gregory. Again, can you keep it short and succinct and on point? That would be great. Thanks.
The reason I brought that up is because to unrealistically, or to tell yourself that false narrative. I'm thankful for what I've learned and been blessed in the Nation of Islam. It taught me a lot, and it continues to, how to eat to live. I wouldn't be who I am today had it not been for those teachings, the discipline, the family values, and the protection of your community, your women, and your children, raising a family. Much discipline. You could disagree whatever with philosophy or ideology, but the basic principles of doing for self and being motivated and self-reliance have made a huge difference in my life. And I have a productive life, a very prosperous life, and a pretty much peaceful life. And so at the end of the day, there's areas in Illinois that you can't live in. Yeah, I guess if you have a certain amount of money, yeah, you possibly could live there. But there's areas that I mentioned, not Oakland, not this one in Baltimore, all of those places here in Illinois, because we were talking about Illinois, you were here in Chicago, and I mentioned some white suburbs and asked you, were you familiar with them? Because if you go out in those suburbs, they lily white, and I know in the inner cities, they're somewhat, now a lot of gentrification is going on, but they used to be pretty much metropolitan areas, primarily black. But when you go to some of the suburbs like Harvey and Maywood, etc., but they're poor. They poor. Are they poor just because they want to be poor, sir?
Well, let me interject for a second. You had said something that was interesting. You were talking about how you learned about protecting women and children. What are your thoughts on Muhammad's, his gravitation towards
raping children?
Yeah, you said it probably more articulate than I was going to put it. I was going to soft pedal it and say that he liked them young, right?
Raping children.
But you want me to answer that? Were you wanted? So no, sir. He asked me a question, and let me answer. I met the wives of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I met the children. I was just with one of them. Beautiful women, beautiful children, never raped, not one. Those women, you could hear them speak for themselves. Hold on.
It was my turn.
Let me finish. But sir,
you took my turn. They told me to let you speak, and then it was going to be my turn, and you just took my turn. Give me my turn. No, let's be real about this. Islam is not compatible with American values. Yes, the Prophet Muhammad raped children. Yes, Islam enslaved black folks. Yes. Today, you can buy a black man for $400 in Libya. Yes. We don't need this person to run off at the mouth. We don't need this person to soapbox us. Islam is not compatible with American values. And because of Islam delivering slavery worldwide, there should be no black Muslims. So any black person who tells you that they're a Muslim, you're listening to the mind of a weak human being. I will land there.
So was it Muslims that was beating us in slavery?
Yes.
I'm speaking to the room, not to you.
Yes,
was it Muslim? But sir,
Dominic,
you have no.
Pause for a second. Okay, look, Speak Gregory. I just want to say I'm not interrupting because I agree with your perspectives entirely at all. At the same time, Dominique, whilst you were speaking, everybody else was quiet. Please, again, this is the third time I need to be able to call you up. Please remain on mute. If you disagree, that's fine. write it down, and instead of being reactive, you might want to consider responding instead. Speaker Gregory, look, for what it's worth, I'm glad that you've had an experience that's provided you a lot of benefits in terms of being part of this Nation of Islam, and that you may have learned some wonderful values. At the same time, I think it'd be remiss not to be able to mention that Louis Farrakhan has been accused of anti-Semitism multiple times throughout his tenure. He's referred to Judaism as a gutter religion. He's called Jews satanic. He's repeatedly made claims that are central to the slave trade, and they've been debunked numerous times. He has a book, a publication that came out called Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. That was in 1991. Claims that Jews were disproportionately involved in the slave trade, which was not true. And I can keep on going on and on. It's like being very incredibly misleading, deeply misleading, and anti-Semitic at times. His rhetoric echoes European style and anti-Semitism, which can go back to the Russian propaganda, which came out through the protocols of the Elders of Zion. That can be traced back quite easily as well. He's demonized the ADL as well as civil rights. Anyway, look, I can go on and on about it, but regardless, I'm glad that you got some value out of your experience, and keep on doing that.
Yeah, and so I was there when the minister spoke. He never said the word gutter. And he was making a reference, so if you listen to that whole lecture, it was really after the attacks when Reverend Jackson was in New York, and he mentioned to Milton Coleman about going to Hymietown. And at that point, and I mean right after that comment, the Jewish community, certain members of the Jewish community decided to attack Reverend Jackson, to somewhat derail that run for president. And so the minister at that point had defended Reverend Jackson, and the minister was not referring to, he had Jewish people sit at the table. Yeah. But now if you run with a constant narrative propaganda where, because you have a different perspective, the minister have shown nothing but utmost respect to the Jewish community.
I just want to make sure that we don't get derailed, because this is not the essence of the conversation that we're having. I was just
I just wanted to respond to that, and then I wanted to respond just quickly to the fact that there are black folks that the minister has absolutely, I'm going to use the word, been critical about black preachers. The minister have been critical about, so to be critical of certain individuals or a certain group, not the whole Jewish race of people, so at the end of the
what are you talking about?
I don't want to do this again. I really don't want to do this again. It's just getting boring. Dominic, please stop. Write it down.
Bro, we need to pass the mic around. I'm not here to talk about the Nation of Islam.
Well, you know.
Hey, hold on, Dominique, with all due respect, can you at least comment on the title of the...
It's changed, but I will. Muhammad, and you see this in Afghanistan, they rape kids. They're pedophiles. They're pedophiles. Straight out. They are pedophiles.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do everything I can do to win this Republican congressional seat. And also,
how do you, what's your challenge?
What is the challenge of doing this?
Yeah.
He's got $10 million already, built up, and he's been in office 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, his name is Darren LaHood. He lives in Peoria.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
I want to run for mayor of Chicago one day.
I was in the subway once, and this kid comes up to me and he goes, "Hi, my name is, Eric. I'm running for mayor." I'm like, "You're running for mayor?" He's like,
Yeah, get away.
he's like, "Yeah." He gave me his business card. Like he worked at
What?
where did he work at? He worked at that financial company. But anyways, I was just like, "Good luck," And this was when, I think it was when Johnson. I never even heard of Johnson. Johnson came out of nowhere.
I heard of him.
I had not heard of him. I had never.
Well,
heard
because
of him.
I was so heavy on promoting Bella, even though she was a Democrat as well, but most Republican I could find. I think I could win the mayor title in Chicago, to be honest.
I think Paul has like a trans son who presents as a girl.
Okay, then I hate him.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone that gets that confused in their life.
It might not. It might not be his kid. It might be like his sister's kid or something. But if you look around,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But when I saw
We're
that,
not
I was
supporting
just
that.
like immediately upset. I'm just like, is there not one normal person that can run for office anywhere? Like,
I think I could win, to be honest. I really think I could. I know what the blacks want. I know what the Hispanics want. I know what the whites want, specifically. I don't really care about the gays. I don't care about the trans. I don't care about the illegals because they'll be gone by the time I run for mayor.
yeah.
I think you could run over me.
Um,
What's your biggest challenge on getting funding?
getting funding. I mean, it's the
You don't
corporate.
have any.
Yeah, the corporate donations are hard to get.
Like your AirPods or whatever they are, and if you touch them, they cut you off.
Oh, no worries.
Anyway, go back. The funding problem.
Yeah, getting nonprofit or corporate funding, it's just a lot of work, and for any, going against a well-established incumbent, I mean, I don't know how generous they will be in giving me money, especially since I'm anti-vax.
You just have to go after companies that really care about saving Illinois.
Fucking Caterpillar, like I can barely think of any, like, I mean,
So I work for a snow company.
like Mountain Vale.
They would support you. But oh god, so then it's gonna be really hard for you. I will help you. When I was young, my dad was a Democrat, by the way. He made me get a job at 12, which is illegal. So I got an internship for Congresswoman Judy Biggert.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me a lot. Then my dad's like, "Where'd I go wrong?" I go, "You got me a job at 12." And I learned everything I needed to know, Dad.
I've heard my dad say the same thing to me. He's like, "I never should have let you take that job."
Is your dad a Democrat?
No, he's a big MAGA Trumper.
Okay. Well, that's different than my dad. My dad's like, it's so stressful. It's heavy as a daughter. He switched the whole family but me. I'm like, well, Dad, you wanna have a good country, or do you wanna have I remember him picking up homeless people on the side of the road. Be like, "Mom, help," because they're divorced. That's just another story. But I'm like, Dad, you could get a lot of funding from construction workers or the companies that run them.
Well,
Do you need that much help?
he actually gets huge donations from industrial.
So it's you, not is it you or your dad?
Who's running?
Yeah.
It's me.
Okay. How much funding do you have?
I've got my own funds. I've solicited no
You're
one for any
insane.
money.
You're like me running for mayor. Alright. So you're not running.
I'm running. Believe me. I'm getting things set up and organized, and I have to get the ballots signed in August for the March primary.
Alright. What
and
county?
It's a whole bunch of counties, and it's 20 little cities. But the major cities are Rockford, Peoria, and Bloomington.
I don't know anyone in those cities.
Yeah, it's its
I do
own.
know Chicago people because I was in media for years.
Yeah, this is MAGA Illinois territory. It's like 80% Republican.
Oh, I know. Like, we didn't have the city of Chicago, which it was 42% Republican, by the way, in the last vote.
Yeah.
So I think you have a better chance to beat that.
Well, I ran for committeeman here in Chicago in the for the Republicans, and the Republicans spent $10,000 suing me to get me off the ballot.
Yeah. What are you fighting for?
Lower property taxes. I mean, to start.
Yeah.
Like, this
Pritzker
is crazy.
gets eat a dick and die.
Who?
Pritzker?
Oh yeah, Pritzker sucks. He's big time.
I hope
He's
he
really
literally
sucks.
like gets killed in a accident or something. He's awful.
Well,
Obama is awful too.
yeah. I mean,
But
listen,
Congress
everybody's
people,
gonna
most
crow.
people don't pay attention to that. You gotta make yourself known.
Oh, believe me, I'm doing a lot of things that are causing major problems for people, but to get, I really actually need a secretary to try to like generate press
I'm
releases.
not gonna be your secretary.
No, I'm not asking you to, but
Even though if you created it.
I'm just saying that like creating constant media and content that gets like real distribution, not like your own, artificial
You need
social
to find
media.
someone that's in love with you that will do that social media for you.
Well, it's really just correspondence because every time the incumbent is interviewed or a Democrat challenger is also interviewed, that news network is legally required to interview all candidates that request it. So,
Right. They don't post it.
yeah. It's just a lot of work. It's just like a nonstop
Interesting.
communication effort.
Why didn't you just go for mayor of Chicago?
Well, when that opportunity arises, it's possible that I register with the Chicago Election Commission, but this is what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get like a lot of feedback. No one cares about the Congress people.
Well, this guy, in my opinion, he's not liked very much, and he's gone unchallenged his entire career, and he was actually appointed because Derek Schock, or whatever the fuck his name was, he got removed from Congress. So this guy is like an artificial candidate to begin with, and if you look at all the comments on X, they're just like, I fucking hate you, I hope, you go to hell. Like, it's crazy, people hate this guy.
But what are you gonna do to separate yourself?
I mean, my
Make
big
America
my
great again.
big talking points is that this guy has created $18 trillion in debt over the course of his 10 years, and he also solicited and told all of his constituents to go get the vax. There's no way we can end the pandemic unless you get the vax.
Are
And
you back?
no, hell no,
Oh, good. Thank God.
no. I would rather get fired, and I would rather
I got fired.
yeah. They didn't fire me because Trump rescinded it, but nonetheless, I was like, this is insane. This is like medical tyranny. How the fuck can you ask me to go get this shit injected to keep a job? I'm sitting here perfectly healthy. Like, you guys are fucking. I would still like to go back to those emails and get the names of the employees at Treasury who transmitted all that shit, but
So you didn't get them.
it's just more work. It's all water under the bridge at this point. There's a
You
lot of
should make a
unhealthy
better
people.
campaign than the rest. My advice to you would be like, get on Twitch, get on like the ads on CTV, they're cheaper. But like, obviously get on Twitch. Do you know what that
I
is?
do have a Twitch
Really
account.
other-
I've live streamed a few things on Twitch, but I don't have a following there. I just have to keep
Yeah,
working
you're
on
gonna
it.
need some help on that.
Yeah, I don't watch anything on Twitch, and I've only live streamed a
Nor
couple
do
times.
you think I watch Twitch.
I don't know. Maybe you fucking watch Twitch. I don't know. People watch
I
weird
don't.
stuff.
I don't. But I sold a shitload on Twitch. Like, I sold for ESPN a shitload of money on Twitch.
Hmm.
It was like, I don't know how to explain this to you, but that's very cool that you're running. Tell me your life story, and maybe I can back you.
From Chicago, went to high school in Skokie, college in Charleston, South Carolina, the military.
You Jewish?
My dad is Jewish. My mother's Christian, so I'm
So you're Jewish.
I'm gorgeous. Or my mother's gorgeous. I'm a cashew.
That's so weird. Which one do you follow on? Would you correct us?
What do I what?
What do you practice?
I would say like Christian Jewish mysticism,
Okay.
meaning like
That's like a little bit hard to solve.
I would rather read a book than like go to church on a Sunday. That's just me.
I don't go to church, personally.
Yeah, I'm not involved in any
I'm gonna tell you a secret about me. I almost died in 2023. I didn't die, and then I found God.
How did you almost die?
You really want me to tell you?
Sure.
I don't want to tell you.
Okay, well you don't have to tell me.
It eliminates my probability.
Oh, it's one of those near-death experiences. I understand.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it, but I found God throughout that experience in a crazy way. But anyway, back to you and your campaign.
How did you? So when you say you found God, like, what does that mean to you?
It means I had one surgery, I almost died, and then I had a second, and I was like laying on the bathroom floor, and I was like, "You're not fucking real." And he came to me.
It came to
And
God came to you.
It's gonna sound crazy. He came to me.
He came.
Jesus
He
did.
came in you.
Jesus came to me.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. It's hard to explain to a Jewish person.
Oh no, I mean, I got baptized when I was in high school, so. Yeah, I mean.
You guys don't believe in Jesus.
No, I believe in Jesus. I mean, I like the New Testament, but I'm just saying that, you know, I've read a lot of books, and
It's not about the books.
I think it is about the books.
The other day I was in an interview and they were like, "What book are you reading right now?" I was like, "The Bible." I didn't want that job, by the way. But that was a Jewish person on the interview. I was like, "Can I just get off of this? Please."
Well, there's a lot of good Jewish books that complement Jesus.
I don't care about that.
Well, I'm just saying I like the book club. It's just me. It's like a hobby, you know.
Good for you.
I like.
Well, I'm
being in a
reading
book
right
club.
now. The book I'm reading is Behold the Pale Horse.
You're reading Behold the Pale Horse. I got that over here by William Cooper. It's kind of like a.
Conspiracy theorist dream book.
No, there's like all these like manuscripts and photocopies in the book.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like I'm looking at it now.
It's not the easiest thing to read.
But I told the person on the interview, I was like, the Bible. He was like, "Well, I think this ends our interview." I was like, "I think so too."
Yeah, I gave a quote
It's been a
once.
fun time.
I gave a quote by Malcolm X once at the end of an interview, and I didn't get the
Ew,
job.
why?
I don't know because
Black
I.
Lives Matter?
No, it was just like way before that. I just like happened to watch some documentary or something, and I liked the
God
quote.
damn it.
And in hindsight, I was like, it was the weirdest interview ever. It was for the State Department to be a foreign service officer, and they
I mean,
just.
that would be interesting.
It would be interesting, but yeah, you do have to travel and like live at embassies around the world.
Yeah, and almost die for your country.
Yeah, well, if some ICE agent makes an arrest next week and dies, I hope President Trump will give him like full honors, like, you know, funeral service or something.
So freaking.
TK
Like,
DJT.
he was so cool.
Huh?
You know, like, my ultimate dream was to work with Tucker Carlson. But he's lost his mind.
What has he lost his mind about?
He's just calling out Trump left and right. I think, like, what happened to him is his viewership, like, lessened recently. I love Tucker. It's still my dream. But is it more than to work for Trump? Not really.
I don't know.
Just know that the job I'm going for is not. It's in between both.
Yeah, well, it would be very cool to work at the White House.
Oh my god, I would hate it, but love it. You know, and then like all the songs come in my head, like "Hater Love" is that your song? I have such severe ADHD.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. to get on the curse. Once you learn how to market it, it works in your favor.
Do you take Adderall?
Yeah, occasionally. Not every day.
Yeah, it's a very powerful chemical.
Why do you need it?
No, I smoke cannabis, drink coffee.
Yeah, I hate coffee. I've never drank coffee in 6 years.
They say if you drink coffee, you live longer. It's like scientifically proven now.
They said that if you take Adderall, your brain is fucked.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, I have a friend who's used it like significant portion of his life, and he tells me now he's not using it anymore. I'm just like, that's fucking amazing.
It's awful for him. In my opinion.
I don't know, he says he's hitting the gym, he's going out on dates, like, suffering.
It doesn't make you antisocial. Maybe your friend just didn't need it.
I think he used it to like treat depression in a way.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Could be.
For me, I use it just to get my life together on a day-to-day. This is an interesting combo. I'm shocked.
Well, it's not often that, I speak to somebody that wears a MAGA hat in their Hinge profile. It's usually atheist liberals.
Is it really?
Yeah, if I showed you my Hinge, I mean, it's really bad out there for young women. I'm just like, what happened to society?
I'm not that young. I'm kind of old.
Well, I'm saying just in general, like everybody that you match with is like an atheist liberal, and you're just like, damn. I mean, there's
I don't match with anyone really, usually. I get a lot more matches, I think, than you.
Oh yeah, for sure. You probably get fucking thousands.
I do. That's why it's so hard for me to go through them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've seen like hot girls Tinders and Hinge in person, and I'm just like, this is insane. Because like they're also matching with women, and I'm like, and women are talking to women.
Ew! I hate that. That's disgusting. Like, I will never be friends with someone that is. Like, you guys have lost your minds.
She was in, this girl that I knew who was really hot, she was married to a gay guy basically, who was a successful banker, and he was like a literal cuck. He would anyways, it was really...
I got it.
Yeah.
But that's disgusting.
It was very weird. But it is what it is. But I was shocked because she was talking to so many women, and I didn't realize that women are so bisexual.
Oh my god, I would rather die. Like, are you okay?
Yeah, she was very depressed. She was chain smoking cigarettes, like she wanted to kill herself. I was like, girl,
Oh my god. Like, by the way, like, you. Women are just, I have two best friends, that's it. I'm very rare. I love Trump. I love politics. I want to help you win your Congress seat.
Thank you. I need help. It's a lot of...
yeah, desperately.
Yeah, it's just like...
So, like, my grandpa ran for mayor of DeKalb back in the day. He's now passed. But I still have a next book from him being like, Sherman for mayor.
I think the internet has ruined everything because I have books from the 50s of political conventions and things people were so classy. Even the Democrats were classy.
Yep.
And now they're just insane, and it's clown world. It's terrifying.
I got all of his books on politics, and in the notes it was Taylor, I know that you're right. It's weird. He knew that he was right, that I was right before he died.
What about Trump? Oh.
Yeah, about Trump. Because he had books about Trump. But Trump changed it. He was still alive for Trump to run for 2016. He lived through a Trump year. He wasn't mad, but he liked Obama. I was like, what the fuck do you like about Obama? He's a lying, cheating, fucking non-black person that doesn't have a birth certificate.
Yeah, he's a very
He
dangerous
married a
person.
transvestite.
Yep. He's part of the
I
deep
think
state.
it may have killed him. By telling him that.
Yeah, when my aunt told me that she was trans, I was like, "You're crazy." But then, like,
Get a life.
it took me a minute to like actually.
But your aunt is trans?
No, my aunt told me that Michelle was trans, and I was like,
Oh.
"What are you talking about?" I was like, "That's a woman."
Michael?
Yeah, Michael.
Michael?
Yeah.
No, that's so obvious.
I mean, her arms go past her balls. Like, her arms are huge. Like, that's a man. Those
She,
are man
like,
hands.
why do you think they're getting a divorce?
It's because Barry is a bisexual swinger who can't stand to probably look at him anymore. And he was like, it was a good run, you know, like, we made it.
We won it for 8 years. Then Trump came in and your talks.
Like, the kids are not their kids. Those are like their best
I
friends' kids.
absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
The kids are, those kids should go to hell.
They are essentially like the epitome of clown world and how America got fooled.
They're ugly too.
Yeah,
They're
Michelle
hideous.
is hideous.
Children.
Well,
They're so ugly.
what's funny is they don't look like either of them.
They kind of do. When you look at them, because they're both hideous. Maybe it's just because I think they're both hideous. Obama and Michael.
What's so funny is the girls look like women and the mother looks like a man.
The older daughter.
It's like a sick little skinny
dropped
man.
the name. Dropped the name Obama.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm like, I mean, I don't want you to be a part of anything. I hate you still.
Well,
But Obama, I hate more than the world and itself.
yeah,
Like,
he's
it's almost like, it's like Obama and Hillary. Let's get in a room.
yeah.
Who you're gonna hang out with? I prefer Hillary over Obama, to be honest. I hate him. I
Yeah.
hate him.
He's
with
a
such a passion.
he really scammed everybody. He's a gifted
He didn't scam me. I didn't vote for him once. I hated him from the second he came out.
I know, but
I'm Barack Hussein Obama. I'm the best speaker in America. Like, eat a dick, motherfucker. You're a fucking con artist. I hate you. I hated him.
yeah, he's a straight up scammer, but
He came to America to ruin it.
well, you know, I don't know. The weirdest thing is that he's connected to the Bush family. So,
They were ruining it too.
well,
Trump's
yeah,
the only sane president we've ever had.
I know.
He could go to JFK, but like he was involved as well. Trump for king. 2020.
Well, Reagan was really good.
Reagan I love, but he got shot. So did JFK.
Yeah,
Trump
but
tried to
Reagan.
get shot.
Well, yeah, that's like that is still
Oh
one
my
of the
god,
craziest
when
things.
Trump got shot, let me just tell you, I was listening to Eminem's new album, and I was like, I can't listen to Eminem's new album because it's like Satanist album. I was like, I can't do it. I'm listening to it, I get home, and everybody was like, Trump got shot. I was like, oh my god. No, I can't listen to Eminem.
Yeah, I never liked him because he's like white trash.
I love
freaking
Eminem.
bigger, basically.
You're missing the point. Trump is the only president in the world that has ever done anything for America. But Eminem is my favorite rapper.
Really?
He's the best rapper alive. He really is. I still listen to him.
Maybe it's like the ADHD brain, because like I just do not like Eminem. I find him to be.
You don't like him?
I find him to be kind of annoying, and
I think he's the best. Like, I can't even.
I just don't like rap or hip hop in the sense that it's just like spam. It's like I'm past all that. That's like shit from when I was
You're
younger.
kidding? Eminem is such a lyricist. He's like a poet.
That's where I have to disagree. It's not very good poetry. It's like trash.
He's so
spam.
good. Okay, so like I will say this one thing. If I ever met Eminem, I think I would fall in love with him. He would fall in love with me. And I would be like, we have to like Trump. You have to stop doing music against Trump. He never really did it though. When you listen to his lyrics, he never went against Trump. He just went against everyone around him. He's like an RAP. Never mind. I'm not gonna rap for you.
Well, I met DMX at McDonald's, and I was like,
That's like years ago.
I know. I said, can I take a selfie with you? He said, fuck you.
Yeah, no, fuck no. Well, I'm gonna say, like, I'm not here for your selfies in the bathroom, like, come on. Anyway. You have kids?
No.
Oh,
No.
you want them?
Yeah, like probably one or two.
One mega.
Yeah, one MAGA.
My best friend is my nephew Cade. He's 2. I hang out with him every chance I get. He's my best friend.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2.
Did you grow up in Chicago or the suburbs?
What?
Did you grow up in Chicago or the suburbs?
I grew up in the suburbs. I lived in Chicago for 20 plus years. I trained horses and did that my whole life. My dad would sell my horses when I won. It's awful. Anyway, what about you?
I have this one sister. She just got married actually, just a couple days ago.
Younger or older?
She's older.
So you had the baby. Yeah. No, seriously, it's different being the baby or the oldest. I'm the oldest. Alright, well, you're not talking.
Sorry, I'm looking at Airbnb because I put my boat up on Airbnb and somebody just messaged me that they want to,
Cool. Good for you.
yeah.
On your boat. I'm not like a boat rat, so I have to turn my leg.
So, what do you hope to accomplish this year?
What?
What do you hope to accomplish this year other than helping me with my campaign and making a
Well, I'm
MAGA
helping you with your
baby?
campaign and I get this new job.
So you're gonna go back into media sales?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. I can actually help you when I get there.
Yeah, I used to work at Google as an account manager on SC
Very
Johnson's
cool.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my family is like, if you have like this pain in your neck, I've had it for the whole week interviewing with this girl. It's not from that, it's from lying to my other job. I can't lie.
You're not even a white lie?
No, I'm really bad at lying. I'm really bad. Like, I'm so awful at it. That I literally, like, I want to cry. And then, like, yeah. Anyway, when I get the job, which will be in 3 months from now, I have to just keep the job until then. I can't do it. I think I'm gonna get fired tomorrow. It's fine. It's fine. What about you?
With
Getting help with your campaign?
Yeah, I just opened up a Wix account yesterday to create johnforcongress.com.
Okay.
So once
What does it look like?
it's just like a basic template that they
Yeah.
have. It's just to send people to, so I can try to generate
Is it red or
donations.
blue?
Huh?
Red or blue?
It's like I can't get the domain connected, but it's just a photo of me from when I was in the military. It's like the major background on the homepage.
Okay, come in.
You okay?
Oh.
Did you get a hairball? You said you have a dog?
Yes, I have a Saint Bernard.
Oh my gosh, that's quite a dog.
You know, you just like said something at the Aurora talking. Okay, I'm back.
What was the name of that movie? With the Saint Bernard, Beethoven.
Beethoven. I got her because of Beethoven.
Oh wow.
I was like, Mom, I want a Beethoven. She's like, when do you grow up? I was like, great. I grew up and I got one.
Did Beethoven ever save you or cause you like a disruptive comedy event?
No, we watched it together. No, she's identical to Beethoven.
Cute. Is she fixed?
What?
Is she spaded?
She's 12, yes. But she also has drooled and shed and ruined my apartment more times than I can count. I love her. She could ruin it 12 more times. She's my best friend. She's 138 pounds. And I am the same.
That's a big girl.
It's interesting because we are the same weight. I'm not kidding you. We are. Zoe? So I didn't name her Zoe either. I rescued her when she was 12 weeks or something. No, not 12 weeks. 12 months. She was 90 pounds. Almost a year. If she was a year, they tricked me. She climbed out of the window of my car and tried to run away. And I was like, not today. We've been best friends ever since.
Oh, match made in
I'm
heaven.
obsessed with her.
My sister just got a new dog.
What?
My sister just got a new dog. It's really cute. It's like a golden doodle, basically.
I don't like poodles. I don't mind them, but I would never get one. I'm not a real dog.